Welcome back to Two Girls, One Bong.
The podcast that's better when you're stoned, but it's fucking okay if you're not. My name is MacDizzle.
And I'm Joya.
Let's dive on in. Okay, so we were just chatting it up a little bit right before we started recording about the insane stuff that's happening in Kentucky right now. Shout out to everybody in Kentucky or in that general area who's going through it. Fuck.
Yeah. Our wonderful producer, Dev, who is behind.
She's from Kentucky.
Yes, she's from Kentucky and lives in Kentucky. She's completely safe, so that's wonderful. But when I heard Kentucky on the news, I was like, oh shit, I know somebody in Kentucky.
Yeah. And you were saying something about people being... So I heard... So go ahead and say what you were saying about the candle factory. It's like 8 minutes. Yeah, you only have an 8 minute. How the fuck would they know?
I learned, because obviously... you know, growing up in California, you learn about earthquakes. That's it.
Yeah, you don't
learn
have
about any other natural disasters. And so I always put hurricanes and tornadoes in the same category. Obviously, all natural disasters are different. Everything is completely different.
Yeah,
but I
learned like a small concentrated.
Well, no, fucker. But it can be up to a mile wide.
Woo!
The fucking yes. So I learned that I'd never heard this before. That for a tornado warning, the average warning time, so when the fucking sirens are going off and you get a text on your phone,
about to get fucked, y'all.
It's the average time is between 8 and 18 minutes. Ugh. Whereas like I was thinking, okay, so yes, that's what we were talking about. These poor people in this candle factory. In my head, in my basic stupid brain, I was like, why are these people at work when there's going to be a natural disaster? I thought, you know,
because it was a regular Tuesday.
Because it just fucking happened.
Regular fucking Tuesday.
You don't fucking know. Oh my God, it's so horrible.
So there's a bunch of Amazon workers trapped in a warehouse, and there's a policy of no phones. They have a policy of no phones on the floor.
Saw that today.
So like but they weren't able to get notifications, fucking updates. One knew. They can't call their family. Like,
Jeff Bezos, you're a piece of shit. Fucking fuck you, Jeff Bezos.
You're a piece of shit.
I hope you go up into space and never come back.
I hope the tornado finds just your house. Just sucks you up into it and projects you into fucking space. It's like a reverse tornado. It sends you. That's what I want. Anyway, so
he's horrible.
Bad person. Bad guy.
But I mean, yeah, that's fucking crazy to think about, the idea that you're not allowed to have your phone and there could be this absolutely obviously deadly. I mean, 6 people died in that warehouse.
Oh my gosh. And that's probably just what we know so far.
Yeah, right. There could be more. It's horrible. It's horrible. Capitalism is the devil.
It's literally the fucking devil. Do you ever think that like sometimes after this reality you get to try a reality where it's not capitalism?
Maybe.
You know, that drink that you're having, it reminds me of a Slurpee from Sonic.
Oh, and do they have the candy cane type of straws?
No. It's just the fact that you have a straw in a cup.
Drinking something.
Yeah. Okay. It made me, and I hear a little ice, kind of. Yeah. That made me think of. Disgusting. Disgusting.
Hey, guess what?
Terrible.
I drank. Oh, you don't even like hot tea, huh? You only like cold tea?
I am drinking cold tea right now.
You're a tea drinker. I drank hot tea for the first time. I mean, tea in general, but I drank it the other day for the first time in a really, really long time, and it wasn't disgusting the way it used to be.
There's some teas. So I grew up in the Middle East, so like I grew up drinking tea. And here's the key to making a good fucking tea. You get some tea and either, I don't know, I grew up with like, they always use powdered milk out there. And you just like mix some powdered milk or just some regular milk into the tea and then some sugar. Oh my God. Yeah. No, it's good. It's delicious.
I follow this guy. There actually might be some other people that follow him. His name's Minty Bong Water. I don't know where the name came from, but he's like an avid tea maker. It's like part of his like online presence. And so he does like, he'll do like a question box where he's like, what kind of tea should I make today? And then he goes and makes this tea with like fresh fruits. Like he'll like, you know, mortar and pestle, like some blueberries.
Oh God, no.
Yeah,
so that's
like
his existence.
What'd you say?
That's like his existence. Then
he does those tea videos. Yes,
Got
but
it.
does he like blueberry jasmine tea, raspberry lavender tea, like super? Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I wish I liked tea like that. But
yeah, well, I think you would like tea if you like put some milk and sugar in it. Like
I was gonna say the milk.
Do it like a coffee.
Yeah, make it a little creamier.
Yeah, it's good. It has to be the right kind of tea, and I don't know what the specific type it is.
I would definitely need something super sweet.
Yeah,
like, regardless.
Sweet tea, some good old fashioned sweet tea.
Yeah, some good old fashioned sweet tea. Dude, did you see my story the other day of the dogs?
Yeah, Instagram.
So, what?
Go ahead.
Instagram's what?
Instagram's hating on you, first of all.
No, well, that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about the dogs.
Oh yeah, what did you say about the dogs? What about the dogs?
So I was on a Twitch stream.
Outside?
I was on a Twitch stream the other day, and there were 2 dogs right outside my bedroom window that they just ran past my window really quick. One of them was orange and white, and the other one was a very dark color.
You said, oh my God.
I let out the biggest, like, like, oh my God. And I ran outside, and luckily it wasn't my dogs. But fast forward, one of them stayed right out here, right outside my window. The other one was running around the neighborhood, tried to find him, couldn't find him. He was all over the place. My neighbors eventually let the dog into their backyard because she seemed like she wanted to go in. She's still in there. There's 2 dogs in my neighbor's backyard right now. I don't know.
Is she feeding them? She must be feeding
I'm sure.
them.
Oh, yeah. They have another dog. Dog. So they're back there. There's 2 of them.
They're all just hanging out. That's not hers, though.
It's not hers. But that dog was emaciated. It was very, very skinny. When I was looking at it in a profile view, I could see its backbone.
Oh my God.
So I don't know, dude. I'm like thinking maybe those people potentially let their fucking dogs out on purpose. Like they had no collar. No one has come for that dog. I posted about it on Nextdoor. I know they posted about it on Facebook in like neighborhood Facebook groups.
Oh my gosh.
No one has come looking for the dog.
So do you know those neighbors? Have you talked to them?
I talked. We don't know each other, but we've talked on some occasions a few times.
I'd be like, are they good? Do they need help? Do you want me to help you with some supplies for them? I can give you some food.
I went over to their house when the dog was sitting outside the fence. And I was like, hey, there's this dog here. Do you guys know her? Does the dog know her? Do you guys maybe share a fence with this dog somewhere? And the guy came out and he was like, I've never seen that dog before. Their dog they don't get together with any neighbors. The dog doesn't know any other dogs. And they put out, the dog would not let me come near her. I was trying to give her a treat and she was like that really low, like, don't fucking come over here, bitch. Mm-hmm. So I let her be and she sat there forever. But I saw them bring out a nice big plate of wet food that she wouldn't go near them, but then they left it for her and she scarfed it all down. And then eventually she went back into their backyard. But I'm like, I know those people are good people. We're not friends with them, but we've spent time with them or talked to them on a few different occasions. Like we know their dog's name.
Okay, I just want to make sure they're not. So
they're not hurting that dog.
Yeah, so I thought I got confused that it was their dog that they didn't take care of and they let it out and it was trying to come.
No,
you think it was somebody else let their dog?
I know it's somebody else's dog because they only have one dog. My dogs talk to that dog.
Bro, that this new dog fucking often. Or those dogs could have just gotten free. Maybe they were like literally being chained up somewhere and they couldn't eat and they got free one day.
Right. Well, the other one didn't seem to be. He was crazy. He was like running and jumping all over the place. So I didn't really make out he was big. He didn't look as skinny as the other one did. I could see her backbone. And I mean, Remy sometimes, like I'm like, dang, you're a skinny girl, but like you can't really see her bones anymore unless she like does that.
Yeah,
you can see her rib cage. But I was like, that dog is freaking very, very, very thin. And yeah, no one has come to get it. Those people would 1000% give. They're not going to keep the dog. Like they would give that dog back if somebody came.
Yeah,
to it.
Yeah.
So I don't know that. I think that those people may have like let their fucking dogs out on purpose. It's just the only explanation. It's horrible.
All the fucking people are irresponsible fucks. Irresponsible fucks.
I'm
like just to go get hit by a car or like
that dog. The other almost got hit by a car. A truck. He was like the truck had to slam on his brakes. The guy rolled down his window and was like, "I'm sorry." I was like, "That's not my dog." But I was chasing after him. But I'm like, "That's not my dog."
I don't know him though. I'm just trying to help.
And then I lost him. And I couldn't find him. And I'm driving around the neighborhood looking for him. And then
Oh
these
my God,
people.
you're living my life now.
I know. Thanks, MacDizzle, for giving me the passion to save animals. And these people are like, oh, you looking for an orange and white dog? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, that way. And I was like, he's not mine. I don't know his name. And I have no idea what I'm going to do with him when I find him. But thank you. And I couldn't find him. But yeah, they still have that fucking dog. So I hope that other one is safe somewhere. But Lord, I'm like, dude, what is going on? Very weird.
That's wild.
Yeah. So
keep us updated.
Anyway,
yeah, keep us updated on that. And we'll be back in just a second after this break to talk about Insane Asylums.
Ooh.
I just did my research this morning, so
be right back.
I have this bong here.
What?
I want to smoke it.
You have a what?
I have a bong.
Oh, bing bong.
No,
I think I could honestly. Yes. Bing bong.
No.
Because you know what? Everyone who's listening right now, even though they've probably heard bing bong 5 million times.
Today.
Hey, you know what though? There's a GoFundMe for the guy, not the guy who says bing bong, but the guy who says, what's up, baby? Take me out to dinner. There's a GoFundMe for him, and he got a bunch of money.
For
He's
what?
Homeless.
Oh, that's sad.
He's homeless.
I'm sorry.
So there's like 30 grand on there.
I don't even know what the Bing Bong video is. So.
Oh my God. It's so funny because I saw it. I watched it. I thought it was fucking hilarious. And then I lost it and I couldn't find it. And I was trying to show Adam. And I was searching like New York video. Like fucking so dumb.
Couldn't
like,
just type
what?
in Bing Bong.
I should have thought of Bing Bong. But the Bing Bong wasn't the funniest thing to me. That was just what stuck. The fucking, what do you want to tell Joe Byron right now? That was really funny to me. And the girl said, she said something like, Kim Kardashian ain't got nothing on me. Oh, I don't remember, but it was really funny. In any case, now it's all over the internet. I can't believe you haven't seen it. No, you're annoyed by Bing Bong and haven't even seen the video.
Exactly. I think that's where the annoyance comes from.
You need to. It's fucking.
It's just I just see people going Bing Bong, like to the point where I'm saying it and I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Like I know how to say it. I know the proper way to say it. I'm upset by that.
Cheers.
I'm gonna take this bong rip. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. Whoo! The iconic. That is literally, I love it when MacDizzle basically recreates the iconic 2 Girls, 1 Bong intro cough. It's 1, 2, 3, and a fourth. Right. Well, that's because the iconic 2 Girls, 1 Bong cough was MacDizzle, so obviously it's natural for her to recreate it. Anyway, Insane Asylums.
So I did a deep dive on like older, like what happened way back in the day, and I actually found. This is how I want to start it. I found this really crazy list of reasons people were admitted to an asylum. And we don't have to read there's a lot of reasons on here. But one of them, it says masturbation for 30 years. I think
I did read that too. A mom submitted her kid.
No, this is 1800s.
Oh yeah. No, I mean
1800s, like just women. No, these are reasons women got admitted to asylums. So they could be admitted for laziness, masturbation, use of tobacco. Also they have this thing called menstrual deranged. And basically that was just when you had an irregular period, you could be sent to an asylum because you had an irregular period, like you bled for too long, or like it was happening too frequently.
Oh
yeah. Go to the fucking asylum. You're fucking crazy. I would be in there forever. Well, I'm also birth control, contraceptives. Go to the asylum. That was
if they were on it.
Yeah. So women trying to take things to stop contraception, to stop conception or whatever, they were sent to an asylum for that. I think that's literally on this list. Yeah, there's one called. So also, there's this thing I found out today
Yeah.
that the word hysterical is exclusively applied to women, right? Like pretty much, they're never like, oh, that guy, he was hysterical. Like when they're saying like funny, maybe, but like hysterical in the sense of like
Emotional.
mania, emotions, you
Yeah.
know. And you want to know why that is?
Hmm.
Because it comes from the Latin word hystera,
Oh my
meaning
God.
uterus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking hysterectomy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I
I was
break
so
my eyes
fucking,
from rolling them.
I was
Jesus
so fucking
Christ.
annoyed to read that. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Uterus. We're just gonna.
I wonder how many other words there is like that though.
Okay. Also funny. They said there's one on the list called women trouble. Very vague. Very, very. You could go there for asthma. Fucking asthma.
What?
There was yeah. That's one of the reasons on this list.
Asthma?
Yeah. Asthma. Let me see. There's one more that was really. If you're bad company.
What the fuck? Oh my God. Well, also in that same, I read that when these women would be, which because obviously is way easier for women to be committed than men. Still easy to commit a man, but men could just commit their wives,
Well,
just to get rid of them, and that any of their assets or any money that they might have,
if they inherited money, it went to him.
Was given straight to the husband. So the guy was like, it's an easy way to get rid of an unwanted spouse and come up on a little cash at the same time.
It literally is that. And you know what they typically put it under? There was like this, it was called imaginary female trouble. That was called imaginary female trouble. And that could be applied to any issue that a woman is having ever at all.
Like, what the fuck?
So yeah, it was really easy to put your wife in an asylum way back in the day.
Oh my God. You know what I wanted to tell you too? I watched this in The Crown, the show about the English monarchy. There was like some distant cousins of the queen, but that were blood related to her, like grandma's sister's grandchildren or something like that. They had this condition that it was one of those developmental ones where they were children in adult bodies. They were like mentally children.
Okay.
And they were committed to an institution and completely forgotten about. They were recorded as dead in the family tree because they didn't want anybody to know, to find out that there were relatives of the monarch that had these
mental issues.
And it's not even like it wasn't something that was developed. It was, they were born with it. So It's in the bloodline. It's not like they developed, right? So that's why they fucking hid it and made it in there. The queen pulls out this like book of fucking family history or whatever, and they had written like these two girls died at the age of 20 or something like that, but they were like in their 40s and 50s in this mental institution and had been there for decades.
Oh my
Isn't that crazy?
That is so sad.
But that just goes to show like how easy it was. And that's in the 50s, like the 1950s.
Yeah.
So how easy it must have been in the 1800s or early 1900s.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah.
I tried to look up why they sent children to asylums, because they definitely sent kids to asylums.
Yeah.
And it was basically just anytime you like had a hard time with them. If your kid was just giving you a hard time, like, get out of here.
No, definitely. That's what I read, that a woman sent her son because she said he masturbated too much.
Oh my God.
And
you know what's crazy? There was a documented incident, or like multiple incidents, where this guy went into the asylum. He had himself committed. No. One way or another, he was able to, like, somebody came forward and was talking about it, and it was a children's asylum, and the children who bit other children got one warning, and on the second offense, their teeth were removed.
No.
Bro, isn't that fucking sick?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Like the shit that they used to do to people was barbaric. They used to just like use an ice pick to give a lobotomy. They just like,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
fucked, completely
The
fucked.
lobotomies, I literally can't even. They said that shit was only in practice for like 20 years, and there was like dozens of thousands of lobotomies performed in like a 20-year period. It was literally created in like 1937 and then outlawed in like 54, something like that.
Well, they had
Fucking
different.
crazy.
They had something different where like literally it was just an ice pick on your fucking head, and they would just like stick it. That was like in the 1800s or like early or like late 1800s.
Pretty much everything that I was reading about was like 1800s, 1900s, because Nellie Bly, which I'm surprised that you didn't read about her.
Yeah.
In 1887, she was a journalist.
Okay.
And she decided that she was going to go undercover in a mental facility and got herself committed in 1887. I'm going to read you some of the stuff that she found out. She exposed this industry like crazy, but they still didn't make very many changes until way later. But
well, because then I think a man went later. I don't remember what his name was, but
he went undercover.
He got himself committed for like 10 days, and when he came, it was for a specific place. It wasn't like to expose the whole industry.
Yes,
but it was like for a specific asylum that he went to. He said like there was some insane stuff happening.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't write the guy's name down either, but this woman, so she found that in this one facility that she went to, all of the doors and windows were locked separately with their own separate lock. So if there was a fire, it would be extremely difficult to get everyone out safely.
Yeah.
They were all locked individually. She said that in one building, there were 300 women in this one building, but there were only 30 rooms. So they were 10 to a room in this one building, which also goes to show that, or goes back to like the fucking, if there's a fucking fire, something happens in that building and there's 10 women to a room and every door and window.
Densely overcrowded like that is such a fire hazard.
Which I also saw that there's a place, Trans-a-Lot something hospital. I don't know where it was, but it was built to hold 250 people, but it held 2,800 at its highest.
I read that. It was all densely over fucking crowded.
Yes.
And like what's also nuts is that most of the people there weren't violent, weren't criminals, weren't charged with any kind of thing. And they weren't necessarily crazy. Like there was one woman who was depressed.
That's what this woman came to find out. She wrote that most patients were not suffering from a mental illness before they were committed. They had since developed PTSD or whatever other conditions from the immense
being surrounded with traumatizing circumstances daily.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did you read about the guy who thought it was a good idea to inject patients that had syphilis with malaria because he thought that malaria killed syphilis? Which
like just like King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah, right. What are you fucking doing? Apparently, 50% of the people.
But you'll have syphilis, but you won't have malaria.
No. You'll have malaria, but you may not have syphilis.
Oh.
But they said that half the people developed, or they had less syphilis symptoms, but 15% of them died of malaria.
Yeah.
Because you injected them with malaria.
There was a doctor who he worked in a children's ward, and he gave healthy children hepatitis or something of that nature in some sort of like experiment, and like so many of them died. Like, and he like knowingly like gave like healthy children this disease, and he justified it by saying, well, these are kids that are probably going to get it anyways.
What the fucking fuck?
Yeah. And that was in America. That was in the US. Like, I was watching a top 10 worst US asylums. Horrifying stuff, people.
Our country always takes the
Well, just
fucking cake for that.
asylums in general just used to be like a dumping ground.
Yeah.
Like, it just used to be where you would dump people off because
Yeah.
because you couldn't figure out how to deal with them or didn't want to.
Right.
And that is a dangerous and slippery slope.
Yeah. Well, and they also, speaking of the people that worked there. So there's all these people that get committed for literally no reason. And then there's these people who work there who treat them fucking horribly.
Yeah.
For no
abuse.
reason.
Yeah.
So this guy compared it to the Stanford prison experiment, where you know what that is, right?
Is that no, tell me. I think I know, but tell me.
I'm sure you do. They took I think it's like 12, maybe 10 people in two groups. So there's two groups of people. They made sure that all of them were mentally healthy, and they put them into this prison experiment where 10 of them were the prisoners and 10 of them were the guards. And those numbers might be wrong. So,
yeah.
But basically, it only lasted 6 days.
How long was it supposed to go?
I don't know how long it was supposed to go, but it was it definitely ended faster than they had planned. The guys who were the guards developed serious sadistic tendencies, and the people who were the prisoners were I don't know exactly how you would phrase that, but made themselves smaller,
traumatized by the fucking abuse in the situation.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like, they retreated into themselves.
Yeah. And they were those people were paid. It was like obviously like a paid scientific experiment. They're like, oh, come make, $100 a day. Or
so it's people who didn't know each other, and they're just like, oh my God.
Yeah. Bro. And so the guards were like, abusing these people who were the prisoners, and it's a fucking experiment. Like, you don't
literally, like, you're just like Joe who works at the grocery store. What the fuck are you doing on your power trip?
So that's what he compared it to with the guard. Like, it was like, the question is, why are these people abused? Like, why are they so abusive towards these people? And
it's a weird social aspect about us, I guess. That's not an excuse, though. Like, you just shouldn't be in that type of job. Mm-hmm. If that is your, we need the most empathetic people in those places.
Exactly.
And I feel like those kinds of places attract some of the coldest people. Absolutely. Because for an empathetic person to go through and have to deal with that every day is a very draining experience. But for a fucking sociopath, it's just a fucking Tuesday.
Yeah. Right.
Yep. That's fucking nuts. That probably has a lot to do with it, because I listened to a story about this guy who was getting hired, and the lady who was like talking to him was just like perfectly pleasant and nice to him, and then there was this blind man on the ward, and she smacked him so hard on the back of the head that he like flew against the wall, and his glasses flew off, like,
oh my God.
Yeah, and he said it was unprovoked and for no reason, and she said something to the extent of, if you're with shit all day, you turn into shit, or something like that. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it was really sick and it was like, I'm like, how can another person do that? And especially like I think of women to just be softer and like less nurturing. Like, yes, like that's why you're there being a nurse, right? Yeah. No, she's fucking one of the worst. So,
well, on that note, maybe we'll take a little break and come right back.
And we're back. Hey. So we were just talking about how the premise of American Horror Story Asylum wasn't that fucking long ago. This was like the 60s? 70s?
What? She was committed to Nellie Bly?
No. This woman was committed to an asylum because she was gay. She was a lesbian, and she was sent to an asylum because of that.
That's a real story. I mean,
that's a normal thing that used to happen. Yeah, that's a normal thing that used to happen. And so I'm just wondering what span of, like, when did they stop sending gay people to asylums? Because they used to do like conversion therapy there and all of that.
That shit is still
not even
just
conversion.
made it illegal.
They did aversion therapy where they would literally like inject you with like small doses of like something that makes you extremely nauseous, and they would show you like pictures of like women and stuff, and then they would like inject you with the thing that makes you physically
Oh my
sick to make you
God.
physically sick
To
at the sight of women.
associate.
Yes. Insane. It's insane.
Oh my God.
Yes, just for being gay, something that's just a part of life.
Obviously, yes, literally.
Like, the fuck?
Natural.
It's like taking a poo, you know?
Yeah.
It happens.
It's like taking a poo.
It's
Oh
not
my God.
crazy.
That is fucking gnarly as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, very gnarly as fuck energy. Yes. But yeah, the premise of that, and like that's what's crazy, is like that was only like 50, 60 years ago that they were locking people up for that and doing this.
Oh, in my brain, it was only 30 years ago. I forget that.
Yeah, because it's 2000.
Yeah, right. It's still, yes, it's still, I'm still a child.
It's very much 2003. Miley is just starting her career on Disney Channel. The Jonas Brothers are young and still a very popular group.
Year 3000.
The air is
playing over
a
and
little
over on the
cleaner.
radio. Oh, fuck. The earth isn't completely dead just yet.
Well, it's on its way.
Yeah.
We're just not talking about it.
Right. We're just not talking about it.
Yeah, your Tamagotchi pet, it died, but now you're on that other new website that has what's it, like a Neopet? What was it called?
Oh, yeah.
It was like
I
the
think
internet
it was
pet.
Neopets.
Yeah, it was like the internet pet.
I also got you a very silly Christmas present that I think you're really gonna like. By the way, just talking about that era and time.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Yeah. Well, speaking of torture.
Yeah, tell me more about this Nellie.
Nellie Bly.
Yeah, Nellie Bly. That bitch.
I know, isn't that a cool fucking name too?
That is a really cool name.
Nellie Bly. So I just wrote down some of the stuff that she
witnessed.
Yeah, brought to light. So she found that some patients were forced to consume spoiled food and contaminated water. So like old food, they just wouldn't throw it away.
You're gonna eat this. I don't want to buy more.
And I think they just saw them as like vermin, literally. So like you eat this disgusting
you're
food.
Subhuman because you're a little piggy peg.
Right. So she also saw people tied. Yeah. She saw people tied together. Kind of, I mean, how we picture
like at the waist?
Yes.
Okay.
Like because I think they used that during slavery too.
Like a chain gang.
Mm-hmm. So they had those, and these people were forced to pull carts of, like, to do custodial work. They're pulling carts full of things around, like mules. So they're like pulling, there's however many people tied together pulling a cart of maybe full of dirt to go do some gardening, or a cart full of
literally treating them like cattle.
Yes. She also found people were forced to sit on wooden benches for 12 hours a day, silent and still. So if they spoke or if they moved, they would be beaten. She said that she saw someone beaten with a broom handle for crying. The patient was crying and they were beating them with a broom handle.
Oh my God.
Yes. She saw a person wrapped in a sheet. They're having an episode. The person's upset for whatever reason. They're wrapped in
because
a sheet.
They're trapped in a living hell.
Exactly. Because they're fucking treated like animals. Right. So they wrapped this person in a sheet, wrapped a rope around their neck. Didn't, choke them, suffocate them, but wrapped a rope around their neck so that they were covered for sure all over their head, and put them into cold baths. They called it hydrotherapy. And some of these people were submerged in these like hydrotherapy baths for the entire day, hours on end, 10 to 12 hours.
Well, that's not good for your body.
No kidding. And that was like part of the, therapy. fucking
what science? Who did it work on?
literally. Oh my god. Okay, so funny that you say that, because I was reading that there was a very old school of thought called phrenology that was eventually discredited, but basically the idea was that so your brain is separated into parts, and it's a muscle. So when you exercise certain parts of your brain, those parts would get stronger and become lumpy. So like if you're exercising this part of your brain, it must be bigger. Yes. So
actually, we were just
I took
dumb as a species at that point.
Right.
Okay.
I took can I send a picture in the chat? I wonder if I can send a picture in the chat, because I took a screenshot of the brain map from this school of thought. And yeah, so these people thought that there were lumps and bumps on the brain. Here we go. And they mapped out the brain. Oh, god damn it. Sorry, guys. Never mind. I can't send a picture in the chat. Oh, I don't know. Oh, share screen. So it's just a very simple thing, but they thought that. No, it's fine.
It's okay.
There's these groups of the brain, and it looks like a color, you know, those
like a little child coloring map.
Exactly. It's like separated into these little areas. And they thought that, so an example was they thought that above the ear was signified as like self-destruction. So if you were like very self-destructive, you must have a really like a lump in your brain. Yes.
Oh my god.
And up the top of the crown had to do with confidence levels. So if you were super confident, you must have a really like strong top of the crown.
Is that where big head came from?
Possibly. Yeah. Yep. And then I also, that was like, yeah, discredited, but they
opened a brain. They said they're the same.
It all looks the same.
Yeah.
But
this
also
is the same picture.
Right. That's weird. It's the same thing. Yeah. Why isn't there any lumps? But Charles Darwin's grandfather was apparently wanted to be a psychologist and invented this thing called rotational therapy, which basically consisted of putting a patient in a chair and spinning them in circles until they calm down. And that was how they got people to ease brain congestion. Just spinning them in circles over and over and over and over and over.
It's gotta work, right? It's gotta work.
Like, it must.
That's just like, I don't want to say people. I mean, I guess they didn't know anything. I guess I don't know. I can't imagine ever being like, oh my god, he's having an episode. Let me violently spin this person around. That will help.
They were just literally trying to think of
anything.
Yeah.
I read that other than being kind and listening.
Yes. Okay. Which also, I saw that with it was actually like the Quakers who really, really pushed for reform in the mental health.
Who's Quakers?
World. The Quakers. The religion? Quaker Oats?
I know who Quaker Oats is. I know that guy.
They wear those little bonnets. They're like a derivative of like Amish people. But they were I don't know if they're exactly, so somebody
were they like
they're not the same, but I don't know, they're similar.
Were they like institutionalized?
They're Christian. No, what I was going to say was that they pushed for reform because they, for whatever reason, I don't know if they felt strongly about it or if they maybe one of the locations that they had was near, I don't know why the Quakers felt so strongly about it, but they pushed really hard in the US for better what's the word I'm looking for?
Conditions.
Yes. And so they came up with this idea that this is late 19th century, so late 1800s. They pushed for the beautiful buildings and the manicured grounds. So that's like what we see in a lot of movies, is like when it's like this beautiful place with like beautiful gardening.
Living hell inside.
Exactly. Like it looked really nice. It was nice to look at, but it
Yeah.
was still
Yeah, no, what they should have been
horrible.
reforming is the treatment of how they treat the patients, because I feel like that is the one thing that was lacking in every story that I heard was humanity. There was just no fucking humanity. But I also think like mental health, we've turned such a corner on it
Mm.
recently, and we're taking like,
Literally just in the past like 5
yeah,
to 7 years, I
so
feel
I'm
like.
speaking from this place of like, no, we need to be kind to these people because look at all the bad things that happen, because we have so many years of evidence that I guess at the time that's just what people were doing, and I would be locked up, Joya.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would be locked the fuck up
Yeah.
forever. There was this one place that was so overcrowded and like the staff couldn't like even check on people. Probably 20 people froze to death in their beds in the winter.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Thousands of patients died in those facilities. Thousands and thousands and thousands of patients died in those facilities. Like just
You
from
know
like
that
bad operations, bad experiments.
yeah, and people negligence. Oh my god, that's
So much
horrible.
negligence. Like they were walking
Um
around naked and shit.
That's what Nellie Bly reported too. I didn't write it down, but that just reminded me that there was like literally like she said that she saw a room with like 4 naked men who were locked in there specifically for the reason to agitate each other, and like they were
And they
all
just
violent with each other. Like they literally were just like put them in there,
yeah, and they're just
and
left to
they're all
like pee
naked.
and poop all right there.
Yep.
It's fucked.
Um, it just reminded me. I saw on the news just the other day that in Texas there have been like I think a couple dozen people that have died in a jail waiting for a mental health evaluation. There was just this they were talking about this kid, not kid, but young, very young man, 22 years old, who was in and out of foster care his whole life, didn't
So
have any
obviously,
family.
troubled.
Yes, and didn't have anybody. Like there's a woman who
No one to advocate for him,
exactly. There was a woman that was his like foster mom for a little bit who he ended up building a relationship with, but that was all he had.
Mm-hmm.
And something happened. He got into some legal trouble and he was in jail. And I think they said he was autistic, some level of autism. And they found him. The guards found him one morning and he was gone. He was dead. And
How did he
basically they
die?
go into this big, I think they said something about his heart, but they went into this big investigation about how Texas isn't like recording these deaths when people are in these jails waiting for a mental health, specifically for a mental health evaluation. And there's been like a couple dozen that have happened over the last like 3 or 4 years or something.
Oh my god.
Maybe a little more time than that, but in any case, I mean, there's a lot of people that are dying and they don't have a comprehensive list of these people
Because some of them are
dying.
probably like homeless or don't have
totally.
anyone.
The journalists were saying we had to go through and find the deaths themselves, so they know that the deaths are happening, but they're not putting together the data to
Be like
make a list of people that are dying under these
certain circumstances. Like there's a pattern. There's a very specific pattern.
They're
So yeah, they basically went through all the deaths at the prison. We're like, okay, this person died
and then
in
matched
custody.
them
This person
to
did this. Oh my god!
Yeah,
Yo, we really
horrible.
treat prisoners and like we treat people with mental health issues so poorly. It is insane. And it's like even as simple as like older generations saying like, oh, anxiety isn't real. Like what are you talking about? Like no. What do you have to be anxious about? I live in a dystopian nightmare. What do you mean?
There are a million fucking things to be anxious about in today's age.
A million. But let's break down. I have this list in front of me still of reasons people went to the.
Okay.
Let's break a couple of them down. Epileptic fits. You're just a person that suffers from epilepsy. You're just a regular fucking person.
I read they made those people have like special diets, extremely simple tea, bread, and prunes.
I heard that they just tied them to beds because they didn't know how to treat the seizures. They just tied them to the bed so they couldn't hurt themselves.
Holy fucking
For
shit.
epilepsy, something that is so treatable now. Something that is so treatable.
And those people have no fucking control over.
Well, yeah, it's like you're like acting like they want. They're like what?
Like they're
the fuck?
choosing
Like I'm
to
like
have a
they're like,
seizure.
yes, this is what I want to do right now because it's I'm upset with life. What?
That's insane. That's
like
horrible.
I would like I don't know, like I feel like just like as a human I look at that, I'm like, this person is sick. They're being electrocuted. Like somebody help them. Somebody help them. Don't tie them down.
Jesus Christ.
That's insane.
Horrible.
But let's see. What does some of these don't even make sense. It says fever and jealousy, fighting fire. What does that mean?
I do not know.
There's masturbation on this list like 4 separate times. This one says masturbation and syphilis, masturbation for 30 years, suppressed masturbation.
When you really, really want to masturbate but don't.
What does that mean?
Oh my God.
And these are things that were listed. It says bad company. Imagine your husband just like, she sucks.
You suck, yeah.
She sucks. Trust me, she sucks. Lock her up. What?
One of the things that I wrote down somebody got committed for was congenital idiocy.
What is that?
Just being dumb.
Oh. Yikes.
Just being
dumb.
So
basically like idiot. Anyone with a learning disorder ended up in, all they needed was specialized schooling. Okay.
Right.
And
Adam would be in there. He has dyslexia for sure.
Oh,
he would definitely be in there.
Just send him in.
He'd be like, you get your B's and D's mixed up? Get in the fucking.
Oh my, get in there. This fucking idiot. He's a dummy.
So horrible.
He's a dummy. Put him in there. Society can't handle dummies.
Right. Good Lord. The masturbation thing really just kills me though. It's not funny.
There's one
that's fucking funny.
This one says uterine derangement. What does that even mean? Uterine derangement. Deranged.
He's like, your pee is way too yellow.
Or or derangement, like your pussy has a mind of its own and you need to relax. Okay. Your pussy is crazy.
Cuts to a lady just like, oh my god, that's crazy.
Uterine derangement. Spinal irritation.
Spinal. Yeah. I hurt my back.
Superstition.
Spinal. Oh my god.
And
they're like, did you just knock on wood, bitch? Get in the fucking mental institution.
Get the fuck in there.
Did you just mention that black cat? Get in there.
Are you worried about that broken mirror?
Oh my god, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
7 years in the mental institution.
7 years.
7 years bad luck? Yeah, bitch. Get in there.
It happened. It fucking happened.
Only just creating more superstition.
Somebody's son died in a war, and that's why she was, or they were.
Yeah.
This one says deranged masturbation. What does that mean? Desertion by husband. So her husband left her, and so she was committed.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, I can't do anything but laugh because what the
It's
fuck?
just so ridiculous. Like, well, I also wrote down chronic alcoholism.
Yeah,
obviously that would be one. So
any kind of addict was sent there. Opium addicts, alcoholics, all of them were in there. And they're like, "What's
lady drank too much whiskey?"
But they also had alcohol at these facilities. They had beer
for the patients.
Yeah, the patients were allowed to drink. Sometimes. Some of them, not all the
special
facilities.
Privileges.
Yeah.
And,
well, it's like so basically, like the patients who like were involved in the work and like helping with stuff, they were allowed those privileges. But the couple who didn't, they weren't allowed privileges. But some of them were just like physically incapable. So it's like, what the fuck? Anyways, with that being said, we're going to take a break and we'll be back with our last little tidbits.
Be right back.
Tidbits.
You're back. And we're back.
Here's a hypothetical for you, Joya.
Yeah.
You don't think well on your feet like this, but I'm going to throw it at you either way.
I'm glad. Thank you for knowing that. Thank you for knowing that about me.
I remember the last time I threw a hypothetical at you. I think it was the zombie apocalypse. And I was like, first day of the zombie apocalypse, what are you doing? You said, well, I'm going to have like a light breakfast.
I was like, I'm going to open up a can of beans for breakfast.
I'm like, are you gonna like protect your house? Are you getting a gun? She says, no.
Is there any sort of self-preservation?
He says, I can't think before my coffee.
All right.
So
what's your hypothetical?
All right, you're a woman of just a previous time who somehow ended up in a mental facility. You found yourself in an asylum, and you're not crazy. Like as many women did.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Fuck.
Because like,
I know what you're gonna do.
Can you even convince them that you're not crazy? What do you think?
No, because I was gonna say you're gonna seduce the manager or the owner.
I'm gonna seduce my psychiatrist and run away with him, and then kill him in the night and become a free woman.
Because that's the thing. Like, yeah, if you tell them you're not crazy, the more you say you're not crazy, the more they're like, you're fucking crazy, bitch.
You can't sit on that bench for 12 hours without showing emotion or moving. You're nuts.
You're crazy. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. I seriously don't even know what I would do. In a
you're
you're
in there saying like, I'm not crazy. It's like, well, you've had an irregular period this week, so
you bled for 6 days in a row.
Seems like you're crazy,
dude. Like, what the?
Anyways,
fuck?
Okay, walk me through it. What are you doing? So it's your first day in the asylum. It's your first day in the asylum.
It's my first day in. Okay. Well, I'm definitely gonna do everything that they tell me to do.
Okay.
Because if you don't, then you get tortured, and then I'm going to become crazy, even if I'm not crazy. Something's going to happen to my brain. So I'm going to do everything that they're telling me to do. If I do have to take medication, I'm not going to cause any problems, as I already kind of lived
you see, my life. I like
Libra rising.
You're taking.
Yes, I am not going to cause any problems. I'm going to do everything they tell me to do.
All right.
I'm going to be really nice, and I'm not going to take my medication every time because
they don't give you medication, Joya.
Yes, they do.
This is pre-medication.
Oh, okay. We're pre-medication. We're rotational therapy and waterboarding.
I mean, I guess, yeah. No, we can do both because they gave you terrible medication. No, I mean, that just like,
I asked for a lobotomy. I'm like, can you just give it to me really quick?
Like, that might be my path. I might just act out enough to just green light myself to the lobotomy. Like, I might get a couple ass kickings, but eventually they're gonna be like, she's fucking nuts, dude. You know,
she likes it. We better
you know what, actually, I'm actually talking about like a real situation. This woman, she was obviously a little, not well in the head because she found a frog and put it in her puswacha.
No!
And it died there. And when the people found it, they gave her a lobotomy.
Oh, honestly, well-deserved, bitch. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. What?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Like, killed the frog. I don't know, man. Like, she was in a terrible place with terrible things. Like,
right.
She wanted to feel something.
So she put a frog up her puswacha.
Yeah. Well, they said in her body cavity, and I can only assume it wasn't her butthole.
Yeah. She's like, no, it's just sitting in her. It's this cavity. Oh my god, no. Yeah. Oh god, that's horrible.
So you're just following the rules, all right? Long term,
I'm following the rules.
Are you going to try to break out? Are you making friends?
Well, so I feel like because they say how if you pretend to not be crazy, you're going to be labeled a sociopath, right?
Well, I don't know.
That is what I've always seen in movies, which real life is always like the movies.
It's definitely just like it.
Exactly.
The movies are more accurate.
The movies are more accurate to real life than real life is. But I think that I would follow all the rules. Yes, I think I would follow all the rules and do my best to convince them that I'm not crazy. Like, help them, offer aid to the nurses. Be like, can I get you a coffee or something? Something like that.
Would you like to hear my plan?
Yes. Does
I like where you're going, but hopefully we end up at the same facility so I can fucking save you, okay?
Yeah, because I definitely, if you were in there, then I'd just be doing whatever you told me to do. I would just be right behind MacDizzle. I would definitely be following your fucking lead if we were in the same facility together.
Yeah, so here's what I'm doing. First day in, I'm getting to know people. All right?
Yeah.
I'm getting to know people, and they can think whatever they want about me, that I'm a sleuthing nympho, whatever. I'm gonna talk to the guards. I'm gonna talk to the nurses. I'm gonna talk to the fucking patients. I'm gonna figure out which of the patients isn't me, you know. Yes. And I'm gonna get all of us on a little team here, and I'm gonna be like, okay, which of are all right, and they're not violent and can come with us, because guess what? There's fucking 30 staff members here, and 150 of us.
Right, exactly.
So here's what we're doing. Here's what we're doing. Starting an uprising, a motherfucking uprising, and I'm gonna start collecting supplies in any way that I can and hoarding them in places. All right,
that's really smart.
Any kind of supply. I don't have to have a use for it at the time or an idea for it. I'm just gonna start hoarding things, and eventually I'll have an amalgamation of supplies hidden.
Yeah,
and we'll be able to create like weapons, maybe a key, maybe like a means of like breaking a window open, and within 6 months, all of us will be free. All of us.
That's honestly a great plan.
Thank you.
And I do feel like within 6 months is a good amount of time.
I have a lot of time to like lay the groundwork of them thinking like, oh no, she's just that cool cat. We don't mind her. She's okay.
She's good.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay, I didn't mention this, but it just reminded me trying to get out. There's this one facility, it was Beechwood, I think it's in California, that requires 2 signatures to be admitted. So it would be like a doctor or maybe 2 doctors, but it required 8 signatures to be released. So that's just something that I wrote down about trying to get the fuck out.
Are you fucking kidding me? Well, yeah, I wouldn't get out legally. I don't think.
Right, of course not.
Once they get me in, they're going to figure it out that I am, in fact, crazy.
Yeah.
But they can't keep a bad bitch down.
No, never.
You know what I'm saying?
And they would be stupid to try.
Oh
my God, that is hilarious.
I'm already 100 steps ahead of them.
I already thought about this before I even got here, bitch.
They've never had someone like me back there before.
Oh no, truly.
No, not a 21st century woman in an 18th century fucking hospital.
Bitch, I came from 2021, you dumbass.
You dumbass.
Never seen nothing like me.
You got a bad attitude.
You want to take a bong rip?
Yes, I would love to take a bong rip.
I also wrote, I took notes on a top 10 worst things that people did in asylums. I figured we probably were focusing on, you know,
the horrific side, but like, what did the people do to get in there?
Well, no. I meant when they were in there.
Oh, they did.
So, yes, like to themselves. And
oh no.
So like, one lady was known to rip out all of her hair and eventually pulled out all of her teeth, most of her teeth, not all. But she was found in like a pool of blood with teeth all around her, pulled out all her teeth. Another one.
How do you even have the strength to do that?
It absolutely would take some serious.
Like, did you have pliers, or was she just fucking raw dogging with her fingertips?
I don't know.
She must have
used a tool.
Because I'm saying, like, if she's just doing that with her teeth, she has the most, or she had really bad teeth.
That's true. Way easier to take out when they're really bad.
Yeah.
Well, another one.
Older time, so.
Another one was known to eat everything around her. She ate like styrofoam or clothes or like things that weren't food.
Doobie, got it.
And yeah, she one night was found having plucked out her own eye, and they couldn't find the eye. Yeah, it was later found out that she ate the eye. She ate her own eye.
She said, "I don't have anything else to eat. I only need one of these." She didn't start with a finger. Why did she start with
I
a
only
finger
need-
at least? I mean,
I know.
these
Start with
people
another.
are obviously a little bit nuts then.
Yeah. I mean, these are real, yes, people that,
That have real delusions and problems and need to
Exactly.
be kept safe from themselves.
Yep. There was another one who broke his own bones because he said he loved the sound of bones breaking. So he continuously broke all his fingers and toes, and his left arm had been broken like 3 times over 3 years. So yeah,
He would be, you know what? If only he lived now, he could just listen to the sound of it.
yes.
There's
If
plenty of
if only
bone
there was
breaking
YouTube.
videos.
Yeah.
Plenty of them.
Oh God, it's
I
disgusting.
watched a video of this girl playing arm wrestle, and her arm snapped in half. And I didn't know that was coming. I hate watching videos like
God,
that.
yeah.
And I was like, and
it's
I'm
horrible.
still affected to this day.
Yeah, that's like a sound that you just don't forget.
No.
Bong rip?
Yes, I'm oh, she's not ready. She'll be
Okay.
ready in like T-minus 3 seconds though.
If you're listening at home, get a bong rip ready and take one with us.
All right, cheers.
Cheers, bitch. Ooh. Well, fucking A.
All right, well that's gonna wrap this one up.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah,
that was horrible, actually. I hope it was equally as horrible for everyone listening as it was for me.
Oh, I was told, or that we should do an advice podcast where like we pick a couple, or we just have like a bunch of people sending questions for advice, and we can answer them on the podcast. I figure I can do a story asking for advice, and you can do a story asking for advice, and we can kind of just come up with a whole little list.
We could do that like one question every episode. We could do like one episode where we answer a bunch, but then we could do like one question.
That's true. That's a good idea. Maybe we'll see some down. So maybe next week we'll see you with an advice podcast.
Yes, that's a great idea. Love that.
Yeah. So. All right, we love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Make good choices. Have a good time.
Do that stuff, and we love you.
Oh my God, I had to lean so far to get that in.
Thanks, guys. TTYL.